It was a dark, rainy night. Well, what a difference a few days makes, huh? So, do I get to say I told you so yet? Picking up delegates on the wide. On the wide. Picking up delegates all over the damn place. Do your own research and go out there and take a look at the delegate count. They're going to be some very, very surprised people over there in Florida at the Republican National Convention in just a little while, because Ron Paul is picking up delegates left and right. State after state, picking them up, and then they don't report it because they can hide it now. That now the best they can do is hide it behind. Ron Paul came in. Well, the Santorum delegates are going for Ron Paul. Many of the Gingrich delegates, which actually makes me a little suspicious, are going for Ron Paul. Up there in Alaska, it turns out a lot of the delegates that basically were picked out ahead of time, let's just put it that way, are going to wind up going for Ron Paul anyway, because Santorum and Gingrich have both fallen off the race, and them guys don't like Romney. And this is the thing, the Santorum delegates, they don't like Romney. They're not just going to automatically flip over. But go take a look at some of some of these vote counts. And take a look at what happened down there in L.A. Like 75% of the delegates from L.A. to the state convention. Okay, and so you got to understand, okay, the state convention, and then they pick the delegates to go to the, right? Okay, so we're winning the state delegates. They're going to pick the delegates that are going to go to the Republican National Convention. And he's winning handily. And then that whole thing, he got blown out in the Northeast. Did you see what happened in Massachusetts? Did you see what's going on over there? Many of those states that Ron Paul's doing quite well on the delegate count, which was his whole strategy the whole damn time. And all they're trying to do with this whole presumptive candidate and getting, I think, trolls to troll Facebook and tell you all about how he needs to run third party and you need to save up and start planning for third party. Fuck you guys. You know what the hell's going on? He's winning the delegates. It's as simple as that, you dumb shits. Right now is the time to put the pedal to the metal. If you know about fraud in your state, prosecute the fraud. If you've already had a primary in your state and you don't know about any fraud, well, get to work. Go raise some funds. Go run around. Go door to door. Do whatever you can. I'm raising money for Ron Paul. Be careful, though. You need to know there's laws in various states about fundraising, the old-fashioned way. If you're a corporation and you want to give billions to, Romney or Obama, go ahead. But if you're just a regular Girl Scout going around door to door, picking up $5 here and $5 there, regulations galore. Be careful. You can go to jail. Do you see what a fucked up thing we've got going on here? We need some changes, folks. Not Mr. McChangey Hopey Pants and his peace price of death, but actual change. Because it's ridiculous what's going on. The corporations are running wild. They're running rampant. And they're trying to make it sound like Ron Paul's going to be the guy that's going to unleash these corporations, get rid of all the regulations, and then, we'll have just corporate rulership if Ron Paul gets in, which is why the corporations are working so hard to keep everything quiet, right? This just makes sense, right? When you're a stupid sheep that all you can do is get your information from the mainstream media or from some Democratic newsletter. I'm signed up with all the Democratic newsletters, and I get the crap from Obama and Michelle and anyway, name it, my box, and I read them all, and you guys are just full of shit. This warmongering son of a bitch is trying to get us into a war with Iran so that we can forget about our troubles here in the United States with the economy crashing down around us and the teeming debt, the piles, the mountains of the trillions of dollars of debt. We added $5 trillion of debt since this guy came in. Understand? $5 trillion. You guys can't count that high. I can't wrap my mind around numbers like that. That's more stars than there are in the sky, visibly, at night. Do you understand how much money that is? I don't. It's trillions and trillions and wait a minute. 5 of them. $5 trillion. And it ain't over. We're not even close to over. And then derivatives and, oh my God, this ends badly, my friends. It ends very, very badly. I can't, there aren't English words to explain how badly this is going to end. And and then they're gonna. We didn't see it coming. I can just hear it. We didn't know. We changed all the bankruptcy laws ahead of time so we could enslave you, but we didn't know that it was gonna come this far. We didn't know that it was gonna crash and your money was gonna be no good. Sorry, we got your pension. We got your house. Oh. And these guys are still forming. I was just fucking with people on Facebook where they're like, oh, women's rights, Mr. Obama, and so of course I got to throw some links up there about how the women in Obama's White House get paid less than really, are you guys just that dumb? I mean, with the Black America, are you really just that stupid where you're gonna have this guy throwing people in jail for a few joints? Really? Having the DEA raid pot clinics, having the DEA stomp all over states' rights. There are plenty of states now where it's completely legal for you to go down to a pot clinic and get a script. And no, they're closing down the pot clinics. But do they go after the banks that are laundering this money? Millions and millions and millions of dollars? Nope. Those guys are playing golf, right? Homeboy on a street corner got a few joints, though. He's going to jail. But these bankers, who, by the way, are ripping you off blindly. I mean, it's crazy how much money these guys have stolen in mortgage fraud and banking fraud and derivative fraud. And ain't but one country out there has decided that they are going to do something about it. It's Iceland. Take a look at what Iceland has done, right? They basically threw their damn government down, rewrote their constitution, told Britain and all these other countries that tried to screw them, no, we're not paying your debt for these crooked politicians that threw us in that we don't owe this and we're not paying you back. Sorry. Whoa, what would happen if the United States did that? What would happen if your Greeks did that? What would happen if, anyway, Spain, Portugal. And Portugal, Portugal will be punished for their drug policy. They will be punished, trust me. It hasn't gone unnoticed that these guys have a drug policy that's working, and you wouldn't want the rest of the world to take up, the same policy that Portugal has, because that would be just deadly dangerous to these one percenters who basically are screwing you and who back Obama 100%. Or Romney or Obama. They don't care. Either one. Status quo. More war, more drug war, more printing, more Fed, more of the same. And you guys, you peaceniks out there, you damn hippies smoking your pot, talking about how we need to end war, and Lenin and Marx and all this. And when I'm talking about Groucho Marx and John Lennon, talking about how war's over if you want it, and peace, and give peace a chance. And you're voting for Obama, you stupid. You're either stupid or you're a hypocrite, or both. Mostly a stupid hypocrite, I'd say. If you can't understand that there's one guy named Ron Paul wanting to call the troops home and end these wars and have trade and entangling alliances with none, and then there's guys like Obama and Romney that are trying to rattle the saber and get the war going over there in Syria and Africa and Iran and wherever the fuck they can get a war going on, that's where they want a war, right? And you guys, you hippies from the 60s, oh, that Obama, he's such a, right? And there's a guy that couldn't put a torturer in jail to save his ass, right? Gotta look forward. Just looking forward. Mr. McHopey Changey Pants and his Peace Prize of Death. I'll also put a link down there where he's, we'll say, rather cavalier about the deaths that are going on at the hands of our military machine. Anyway. The point being, guys, get out there and go to work for Ron Paul, because I'm telling you, the delegate strategy is working. I've been saying this for numerous videos now, and it's starting to come to pass. And all I can say is, I told you so. Quit whining, quit complaining, and get to work. If you don't know what to do, make a phone call. There's a what do you call, Republican chairperson. Well, actually, probably those aren't the people to call. The Ron Paul chairperson in your state or in your local area is not far away. Look it up on the internet and ask them, hey, what can I do? And do something. Make a video, post something in your blog, post some of my links that I have down here that you can use to show that there's a big difference between, like, George Takei, you stupid fuck. Really, Ron Paul is the old guy that wants to take us to the Iron Age, and Obama is the least worst choice out of this pack. Really, Mr. Obama, because you think somehow that the guy that's for freedom and liberty and who's been painted as a racist and homophobic and so forth, this guy is talking about individual liberty, and you guys are talking about birth control and gay marriage. You know what? Your gay married asses are going to wind up in a war with Iran, and your lovers are going to wind up dead in another stupid war that doesn't need to happen. Simple. I mean, you guys need to wake the fuck up. I'm tired of it. That's what I mean. I make these videos, and I'm just tired. I'm tired of listening to people call them a racist. I'm tired of people listening. They're listening to people tell me about how, Mr. Obama is the man. He is the man. He is definitely the man. This is Bush's next term, and if he gets in, it'll be his fourth term. And it doesn't matter if it's Obama or Romney, it's the machine. Or you can have some actual change with this guy named Ron Paul. You choose. You guys choose. And so far, you've been doing a piss poor job of choosing, right? You vote against one, or you don't vote for anybody. You vote against, right? You weren't voting for Bush, right? Or you weren't voting for Obama. You were voting against Sarah Palin. Okay, I can understand that actually. But as it turns out, when it comes to whistleblowers, when it comes to war, when it comes to drug war, when it comes to failed monetary policy, failed drug war policy, failed foreign policy, failed policies, this guy, what's his name? Obama, what's his name? Anyway, Obama has absolutely just failed continuously. Just his greatest achievements, even according to his own blogs, are extending benefits. You want to screw the people out of their houses in a mortgage crisis? Yeah, Obama's all over that. He's all cutting deals with the mortgage companies that are committing fraud on the wide. Blatant robo-signing, don't own the note, can't figure out who owns the note, cut these things up, turn trash into cash, and what's Obama doing? Cutting deals. Right, and encouraging attorneys generals to cut deals. We've got this whole thing where they're running drugs and guns as usual, right? Trying to explain to some of my friends, this is nothing new. This isn't Obama's new policy that they had the drugs and guns going south of the border. This has been policy for freaking decades. And I was making fun of Obama, and somebody else made a comment that, yeah, just like the guys before him. And I can't argue. It's when the National Defense Authorization Act got signed, I'm pretty sure George Bush Sr. came in his pants that same. Really? He signed it? Yay! Because George Bush Sr. could never have gotten that thing through. Never. But Obama, no problem. And then you guys are still like, yay! And now he's saying stuff like, oh, I'm going to veto CISPA and so forth. He ain't vetoing that, right? They'll make a few changes, and then he's going to sign it. Just like he signed National Defense Authorization Act, just like he signed, or he didn't actually sign, he made an executive order, didn't even have to worry about that, where he basically just said, hey, all your stuff's ours, don't really need to have a, crisis anymore, don't need to have any more, financial crisis or war or anything, actually. If I just want to say your stuff's mine, this little piece of paper that I just signed, this executive order, it's the National Defense Resource Authorization Act, I believe it is, NDRP Resource Preparedness Act. There you go. Anyway, and then hey, by the way, if the Secret Service is on premises, like at the Republican National Convention or the Democratic National Convention or wherever the hell it is, if they're Secret Service and you guys are out there with your little protest signs, whatever it is you're protesting for or against or trying to make people aware, or you're trying to exercise your First Amendment rights, fuck you, you're going to jail. And you know what? If we get you in jail for not being on the sidewalk or whatever we can trump up for the reason to arrest you and put some pepper spray in your face. After we get done pepper spraying you, we're going to strip search your ass. How you like that? Pretty girls, get out there. Come on, get out there and protest. Get out there. Let's see what happens. You going to enjoy that? Yeah. This is what we've come to, America. This is how far we've fallen. And these are the choices you need to make. You choose between guys like Obama and Romney and guys like Ron Paul. Right? The choice is clear to me. And then, Ron Paul, there are a few things that I dislike about Ron Paul, but they are far outweighed by peace and prosperity and individual liberty and getting rid of the Fed and sound money and stopping this ridiculous drug war and getting rid of the Jim Crow and anyway, the list is long. And the list for the other guys, I cannot wait to see Ron Paul debate Obama, because he will slaughter him. There is he will put him in indefensible position after indefensible position after indefensible position, because we have this thing called the Constitution, and Mr. McChangy Hopi Pants in his Peace Price of Death don't seem to have ever read the damn document, considering he's supposed to be a constitutional scholar. Anyway, get out there and vote for Ron Paul. Go to work. Ron Paul, 2012.